Hey everyone, I hope you guys are having a great week. I hope spring break went over well for you as well. This week we are going to start working on all of our SDI minutes that I do with you guys. So this one will be over fractions. And I know you guys don't have any packets yet. So I'm just going to go over some PowerPoints on what fractions are. And then we're going to do some examples together just so that you have some reference material as you start when you get your packets on Friday. So this first PowerPoint I want to show you, it's just talking about fractions, and fractions are just a part of a whole. So if our whole circle is these 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, a part of it would be 1/4. So one part. The other part over here, if we take away this one part, would be 1, 2, 3 parts of the 4 whole parts. So with fractions, we're dividing a whole into equal parts. So if this is our whole, and we've divided it in half, so we have 2 equal parts. Over here, it would be 4 equal parts. This is cutting our pizza in half, so that would give us 2 equal parts. Okay, so some common terms for fractions: a half. A half just means that it is 2 equal parts. So there's 2 parts that make up one whole. A third means that there are 3 parts that make up a whole. And a quarter is 4 parts. We can remember that because there are 4 quarters in a dollar. So it's 4 parts that are all equal and make up one whole. Now in a fraction we have 2 different numbers. We have this number on the top and this number on the bottom. So the numerator is the number that's on the top, and it shows how many parts are in the whole. The next number is the bottom number, which is the denominator, and it shows how many parts the whole is divided into. So if we look at this pizza, we have 1, 2, 3 parts of the whole, which is our numerator, and there would be 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, which is our denominator, in the whole pizza. So when we are working with fractions, adding and subtracting them, we need to make sure they have a common denominator. And a common denominator means that they are the same. Another thing we're going to be working on is putting fractions in lowest terms. That's when we would simplify it. So right here's your helpful hint on how to simplify a fraction. You divide the top and the bottom by the highest number that can be divided into both numbers. So if we look at our example, we have 6 over 18, and 6 is the factor that they've chosen that goes into both of them. It's called the greatest common factor. So 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 18 divided by 6 is 3. So our fraction originally was 6 over 18. When we put that in simplest terms, we have 1 over 3. Term equal means having the same value, size, or number. So these coins right here are all equal. 1/2, 2/4, and 3/6 are both all equal. Down here, 9 over 12 is the same as 3 over 4. 3 over 9, 2 over 6, and 1 over 3. So these fractions put into their lowest terms would be 1/3. These two fractions simplified into lowest terms are 1/2. This fraction simplified into lowest terms is 3/4. So the fractions that we just looked at are equivalent, which means that they're different fractions but they all have the same value. So if we look at this first one, it's 1/2. Our circle split into 2 halves. But equivalent fractions would also be 2 over 4, 3 over 6, and 4 over 8. Because if we look, they're all half shaded, half not shaded. And these three fractions, simplified into lowest terms, would be 1/2. A proper fraction is where the numerator is less than the denominator. An improper fraction is when a numerator, so our top number, is greater or equal to the denominator, or the bottom number. A mixed number is a number that has a whole number and a fraction. Okay, that's as far as we're going to go on that one. Oh, I also have this one for you guys. So this is working with adding and subtracting fractions with like denominators. So this is something we're going to work on for examples today. So when you're adding fractions with like denominators, we add the numerators, but we leave the denominators the same. So in our example, we have 5/8 plus 1/8. So when we add, we just add the numerators, or the top number. So we have 5 plus 1, which equals 6. And then we keep our denominator, or bottom number, the same. So our answer would be 6 over 8. When we subtract fractions with like denominators, we do the same thing. We just subtract the numerators, or top number, but we keep the denominators, so our bottom number, the same. In our example, we have 4 over 8 minus 2 over 8. So when we subtract 4 minus 2, we get 2, and we leave that over 8. So our answer is 2 over 8. Another example, we have 3 over 10 plus 5 over 10. 3 plus 5 is 8 over 10. Down here we have 4 over 7 minus 2 over 7. 4 minus 2 is 2, and then we put that over 7. Alright, so that's as far as we're going to go on that one. We have some examples for us to work on together. So the first thing I want to go over is writing fractions using picture models. So we have, for number 1, our whole would be 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, So our denominator, or bottom number, is going to be 4. Now we're going to look at how many parts are shaded. So we have 1, 2, 3 shaded parts. So our top number is going to be 3. So our answer for number 1 is 3/4. For number 2, we have 1, 2, 3 parts in our whole. So our denominator, or bottom number, is going to be 3. And we have 1, 2 parts shaded in. So our fraction is going to be 2/3. Number 3, we have 1, 2 parts in our whole. So our denominator is going to be 2. And we have 1 part shaded in, so our numerator is going to be 1. And that makes our fraction 1/2. For number 4, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts in the whole. So our denominator is going to be 8. And we have 1, 2, 3 shaded parts, so our numerator is going to be 3. Number 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts in our whole. So our denominator is going to be 6. And we have 1, 2 parts shaded in, so our numerator is going to be 2. Now if we look at this fraction, 2/6 is not in simplest or lowest terms, I'm sorry. So 2/6 simplified. We look at 2 and we look at 6, and our greatest common factor, that could go into both of them is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 2 divided by 6 is 3. So our fraction in lowest terms would be 1/3. For number 6, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts of our whole. And we have 1 part shaded in, so our fraction is 1/4. For number 7, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts in our whole. So our denominator is going to be 8. And we have 1, 2 parts shaded in, so our numerator is going to be 2. 2/8 is not in simplest terms. Our greatest common factor that goes into both 2 and 8 would be 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. So our final answer would be 1/4. Number 8, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts in our whole. And we have 1 part shaded in, so our fraction is 1/6. Okay. Number 9, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts in our whole. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts shaded in. So our fraction is 5/6. Number 10, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in our whole. And we have 1, 2 parts shaded in. 2/4 is not in simplest terms. Our greatest common factor that goes into both 2 and 4 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 4 divided by 2 is 2. So our fraction in simplest terms is 1/2. Number 11, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts in our whole. 8 becomes our denominator. And we have 1 part shaded in, so 1 is our numerator. Number 12, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts in a whole. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts shaded in. So our fraction is 5/8. Okay, I'm going to stop there on that one because I do want to go over some addition and subtraction of fractions. Maybe, if my computer will cooperate. Okay, it is not going to cooperate. All right. Well, I guess when my computer decides what it's going to do, we can make this a stopping point for today, and then next Tuesday we will go ahead and start with adding and subtracting fractions with common denominators. If you guys have any questions or need me before then, you can always email me. You'll be getting your packets on Friday. So we'll start in with all this next Tuesday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.